welcome back to my channel. Let's just get into it. Like, if you are new here, welcome for the first time. If you are coming back or a subscriber, you can become a subscriber in 10 seconds or less. And it's free, just for you. No, anyway, let's just get straight into the recap, my reaction, my opinion on episode 4 of Big Sky. So in Big Sky, we open up on Ronald and his mother yet again, going back and forth, tit for tat. And today, Ronald decided that he has had enough and that he's going to retaliate against his mom and throw cereal on her head. And I was like, I was waiting for his mom to smack the shit out of him. I really was. Because if I was her and I was already a verbally abusive mom, like, why not throw hands as well? Like, she already gets up every day and chooses to insult and belittle her son. She might as well take it the next step and slap the shit out of him. Like, how dare you? How dare you throw cereal on my face? You live in my house. You spoon me in my bed. Like, you can't... How dare you throw cereal on me? If I'm verbally abusing you, you take it. Okay, anyway. And then she immediately is like, honey, are you the one who's out here killing girls? Like, she literally asked him that in the first scene. And then he's like, why would you ask me that? And I'm like, because you did it. Like, and then she said, the day I believe there's more bad than good, it's a terrible day for you. Like, she stays in her little, like creepy mommy dearest shit talking kind of vibe. She doesn't like go fly off the handle, which could be creepier depending on who you are. Like, could be scarier. I would fly off the handle, but it is what it is. Then the very next scene is Danielle and Jerry gagging at Grace's wound. It's nasty. It's nasty. I'm just like, why would you shoot her? And then I just don't get it. And then there's like, we're gonna put maggots in it. First of all, one of my irrational fears is a fear of maggots and mold. I can't do it. I was like, they were gagging, I was gagging, everyone was like, stop. Just let her get gangrene, it's fine, no maggots. Then, the next scene after that, Jenny gets the cops involved. The cops do absolutely nothing. This show is crazy because, like, where is the missing persons report? When are they gonna, like, this is not realistic. It's getting unrealistic now because they would have been, like, their parents would have been on every goddamn news station like, have you seen these girls? My daughters are missing. Like, who was filing the report? Who? And then, so then we also in this episode learn more about Cassie and Cassie's kind of like tragic backstory. She was dating her best friend's husband, which you already know how I feel about that. But we kind of get a glimpse of she's kind of emotionally unstable because her husband died while he was deployed and her mother committed suicide. So maybe like, maybe she's more likely to make like bad decisions in that realm because of her own emotional baggage that she has. Anyway, so Cassie and Jenny meet back up. They go back to the police station where nothing is being done about the 4 missing people. Jerry, Cody, Grace, Danielle, 4 missing people. Also, when is the fisherman's family gonna notice he's dead and report him missing? The show's like, has a lot of loose ends that are not being tied up very well. So Ronald and Legarski, I'm gonna skip over this part and come back to that. But let's go to Legarski going to the police station and getting questioned by the real police officer because he's a state trooper. So he's getting questioned now by the sheriff. So he's sitting there and he goes off on this rant. He's like, this country isn't what it used to be. We used to be amazing and respected and a shiny, glimmering beacon of hope. But now the police are under attack and there's too much equality. What? What? That's a new argument. I've never heard that argument before. Too much equality is a bad thing. Like, I was like, okay. And he goes on this rant, and the sheriff is just like, the sheriff is just sitting there watching. The sheriff is just sitting there like with a dumb look on his face like, okay, so you're upset that anyone is suspecting you of a crime. I get it. Like, he's not saying anything. They didn't give him any good lines to say. And I looked the sheriff up. The sheriff, like, I'm looking at him and I'm like, he's not white. He's a police officer, but he ain't white. So he knows that what he's saying is kind of bull. I looked him up. He's half white, half Chinese. Actually, he's half Canadian. He's half Canadian. No, he's not half Canadian. He's just Canadian. He's Canadian, Chinese, half white, Chinese Canadian man. And I just feel like, if, as a man of color sitting there, wouldn't he speak up? And like, even if he halfway agreed, like, I'm a police officer and I feel like a lot of these criticisms are getting out of hand, even if he kind of agreed with some of it, as a person of color, he'd be like, it's not that easy. It's not that simple, though, is it? Like, there are 4 people missing and we aren't doing anything. Like, what is going to happen? No, where's the police report? Who is assigned to the case? And this is the thing. I feel like they are not assigning a real detective for the plot because they have these 2 independent detectives that they don't want the focus to be pulled away from them. But like, that's not realistic. Like, somebody would be assigned to this case, yes or no? Like, come on now. Okay, so let's go back to Ronald and Legarski, just being the criminal masterminds that they are, arguing back and forth, like threatening each other. Ronald goes on this weird, gross rant about like, there's nothing stronger than gentleness, and I'm the gentler man. And I'm like, what is this show trying to do? The dialogue on this show. I'm watching every single episode, like, but there's so many things, like, I have so many mixed feelings about the show. I don't know how to feel. Even as like a thriller, the show is not as thrilling because we know who the people are. You know, like, we know who the villains are. We know who did it. You know, like, there's no, like, mystery, like, in The Undoing. So it's like, I don't know. And then they're arguing back and forth. So Ronald decides to get revenge on Legarski because Legarski is, like, mad at him. Like, why does your mom think you did it? And it's like, he's like, oh, why did Ronald even tell him that part? Why did he even say that? Why did Ronald even tell Legarski that his mom thinks he did it? For what? And so then Ronald decides that, oh, I know, I'll get an insurance policy and that I'll start flirting with Legarski's wife. And he immediately goes into the quilt store, starts flirting with her, and she's like suspicious as fuck of this guy. She's like, okay. But then she falls for it. I'm just like, okay, right. And then Legarski is yelling about how he feels guilty about killing people, but he doesn't feel guilty about trafficking girls because they're the scum of the earth, and we're sending our scum up to Canada and we're cleaning up America. That's his idea of like what's right. Like, the character doesn't make any sense, but I guess like someone who's trying to justify doing evil deeds doesn't make any sense in general. But he feels guilty about killing people, but then we get to the end of the episode, which he is going upstairs with a hammer to possibly kill his wife. He cuts open the girl's leg when she's on the verge of getting gangrene, trying to help her out. Like, I can't. It doesn't make any sense. You know what else doesn't make any sense? I said over and over that the cops aren't doing anything, but then like the private investigators... Their haphazard investigation is so wonky and made for TV. I can't even. So Jenny wants to go undercover as a sex worker and try to see if this guy Gunther is the kidnapper killer guy. My whole thing about this is we as the audience get no like sense of suspense from this because we already know who the real kidnappers and killers are. Unless Gunther is somehow involved with those 2, but I doubt it. So I'm just like, we already know that this is a waste of time and you're just doing this to fill airtime. So she goes in there, they make a whole mess. Okay, they make a whole mess. They guns are drawn, they get pulled back to the police station. It's like the exact opposite of what you want to do as an undercover person. As an undercover person, the reason you go undercover is so that you can infiltrate a situation and collect knowledge over time. Like, you don't go in there guns blazing. You know, everyone knows, like, okay, someone's investigating this area now. Everybody be on guard. Everyone doing something suspicious. Be more clever about hiding it. It's like, that doesn't make sense. It's just a whole fucking mess. And then, like, how did they plant the tracker? So they plant the tracker on his car. And this is, like, the unsatisfying part of the episode. They plant the tracker on the Legarski's car. And they literally go where the girls are being held. But they, like, go into one room and then leave. Like, they go into one room, hello, is anybody here? They take some pictures. They get kind of creeped out and then just leave. I'm just like, are you joking? Are you joking, though? Like, I just can't believe that part. Like, they literally came in. And I guess it's supposed to be, like, suspenseful of, like, the girls are like, we hear somebody. Because this is the next thing. So this doesn't make sense. How can the girls down in the dungeon hear that there's people upstairs, but the people upstairs can't hear them screaming and going crazy underneath their feet? Like, they're going like, whoa, like, and that big empty warehouse, how soundproof would it really be? There's holes and everything is dilapidated. I feel like their voices could have carried better than that. I don't know. I just didn't like that part. I don't know how to feel about the show. I really don't know how to feel about the show. I'm like watching every second of it, but at the same time, I'm like, we'll see. I think it's worth watching, obviously. I'm going to watch it until I just can't anymore. Like, I'm going to watch it until the very end or until I'm just like, I'm giving up on it. Like, literally, if I give up on it, I'll make a video about, like, I'm giving up, I'm dropping the show. But I think I'll watch it to the end, probably. Kylie Bunbury, God bless her, she just can't catch a break. Like, she can't, like, they won't let her get her shine. They won't let her get her time in the sun. Like, you know. Anyway, I had another couple stray thoughts about the episode. I like how they reference COVID multiple times. No one, not one bitch in the show wears a mask ever at any point going anywhere, doing anything. And this was filmed during COVID as well, which I thought was interesting because they have a lot of extras. They have a lot going on. It was filmed during COVID. Like, it started filming in August. Like, well, in August, a lot of things were reopening, but still. But you know what? They're filming the Batman movie right now. So, you know, Hollywood plays by different rules than you and I. And then the best part of the episode was when Ronald is, like, trying to romance Legarski's wife, and they go to this little party, and the old lady is spiking the punch. First of all, you cannot do that. People are on medications, ma'am. Your people in your age bracket are on medications, ma'am. And then the old folks making out all over the place. I'm like, yes, get it, oldies. Yes. They were having a good time. They're like, hey, someone's got to have a good time in the show. That's it. That's all she wrote. That's the whole episode and all of my thoughts. I doubt you were here at the very end. If you're here at the very end, bye. Have a good day.